Welcome to LexiCast, a podcast designed to help you grow in your legal practice, with weekly updates on current topics, trends, and practical insights. Perfect for listening on the go. Let's dive in.
Welcome to today's deep dive. I am so glad you could join us. If you're like most people in the legal field right now, your calendar probably looks a bit like, I don't know, a game of Tetris.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, but like where the blocks are falling at triple speed and none of the shapes actually fit together.
The worst kind of Tetris.
Right. You're double booked, your inbox is a disaster, and someone just popped by your desk asking if you have 5 minutes for a quick chat.
Which is never just 5 minutes.
No, never. Deep in your bones, it's going to take at least an hour.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission today is clear. We are tackling the notoriously stressful topic of time management skills for lawyers.
And it really is a notoriously stressful area. I mean, in this profession, constant chaos isn't even considered a bad Tuesday. It's just the accepted architecture of the job.
Exactly. You're expected to be infinitely available.
Right. Infinitely productive and constantly visible. It is a total recipe for exhaustion.
It really is. So we are drawing from two really insightful pieces of source material today by experienced legal professionals.
And I really love these sources because, time management in law is usually just so oversimplified.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
It's always just learn to say no.
Exactly. Or it gets chained to that outdated idea of bums on seats. Like, physical presence is the only way to measure dedication.
So to get past all that, we are breaking the source material down into 4 main actionable tips tailored specifically for legal professionals.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. So tip 1 is all about the yes-no equation, which is basically intentional choosing.
Right. Every yes is a no, and every no is a yes.
Exactly. Because, time is finite, but expectations from clients and partners are, infinite.
They really are infinite, and it sounds simple, but you have to fight against the whole psychological conditioning of the legal profession to actually apply this.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Mm-hmm.
Because agreeing to random small tasks, it's kind of like letting people take bricks from a house you're trying to build.
Oh, I like that.
Right. You give away a brick here, a brick there, and suddenly you have no walls. Like agreeing to calls at 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. seems super easy on paper.
Sure, it's just a quick check-in.
Yeah. But it actually chops up your workday and totally destroys your deep writing flow.
What's fascinating here is that saying no isn't about being unhelpful. A lot of lawyers feel incredibly guilty when they turn people down.
Oh, the guilt is real.
It is. But it's really about rational expectation management. The real question you must ask yourself is, who are you choosing to disappoint and why?
Wow. Choosing who to disappoint. That's kind of harsh, isn't it?
It is harsh, but it's the reality. A no to an impromptu morning call is actually a yes to keeping your morning open for deep work.
Right, because if you say yes to the call, you're choosing to disappoint your own productivity goals.
Exactly. You're giving away your bricks.
Yeah, I totally see that. So that brings us to tip 2, which is moving from your own expectations to managing the expectations of others.
Right, which leads into the flexible work discussion, because once you master your own schedule, the next hurdle is the clients and the partners.
And their massive misconceptions.
Oh, huge misconceptions. Mainly the accessibility myth. There's this intense fear from employers that if a lawyer isn't physically sitting in the office, the work just won't happen.
Like clients will just start leaving in droves.
Exactly. They equate flexibility with being completely inaccessible.
Okay, but here's where it gets really interesting. I'm going to play devil's advocate for a second.
Go for it.
Isn't the legal field built entirely on, drop everything emergencies? You've got strict court dates, urgent filings.
Right.
How can you manage expectations when the job is practically designed around crises?
Well, that's the perception, right? But actually, very few tasks are truly drop everything urgent.
Really?
Yeah. We confuse manufactured urgency with actual emergencies all the time. Sure, injunctions happen, but most of the time, a partner just wants an update because it popped into their head.
Ah, right. Not because the deadline is actually today.
Exactly. So telling a colleague, I will get the work to you by next Friday is usually perfectly acceptable. It manages their expectation.
Okay, but what about fixed dates? Like court appearances. You can't just tell a judge you'll see them next Friday.
No, obviously not. Fixed dates are non-negotiable, but flexibility is a give and take. If you have a court appearance, it just means you swap your work from home days.
Oh, okay.
Or you partner up with colleagues to make appearances on each other's behalf for, basic procedural stuff.
Right, it doesn't have to be an all or nothing thing.
Exactly. And furthermore, we live in an age of technology.
Oh, totally. Trello, Slack, Teams.
Skype, secure cloud networks. Staying connected is completely seamless now. You are never truly inaccessible just because you aren't at a mahogany desk.
Which perfectly sets up tip 3. Because even if an employer accepts that you can communicate from afar, they still totally panic about losing control.
They really do. The anxiety is palpable.
So what does this all mean? It introduces what we call the bums on seats fallacy. Employers fear that if you're working flexibly, you're just going to focus on your own needs.
Right, like making dinner or hanging out the washing instead of billing hours.
Yeah, but just because a car is parked in the company garage doesn't mean the engine is actually running. How do they really know lawyers are working effectively just by looking at them sitting in an office chair?
They don't. We all know someone who can sit at a desk for 10 hours and just browse the internet.
Exactly.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, the whole industry needs a massive mindset shift. We have to move away from tracking time and location
And move toward what?
toward focusing on outputs and outcomes. It shouldn't be about optics.
Oh, I see. So it's about what you actually produce.
Right. Think about it. If a lawyer achieves the exact same high-quality output in 6 hours at home as they do in 6 hours at the office,
Right.
even if they hung up the laundry in between those tasks, everyone still wins.
The client gets the work, the firm gets paid, and the lawyer gets clean clothes.
Exactly. The location shouldn't matter if the outcome is excellent.
That makes so much sense. But convincing a traditional firm to actually accept that is pretty tough.
It's the final roadblock. Which brings us to tip 4, making flexibility actually flexible.
Because employers are terrified of permanence.
Yes. There's this counterintuitive concern that flexible working arrangements are actually highly inflexible.
Wait, really? How so?
A partner will think, well, if I let Mary leave at 4 p.m. every day, I'm stuck with that arrangement forever, even if it stops working.
Oh, right, the slippery slope. So how do you get around that? Like, how can a lawyer take baby steps to implement these strategies without absolutely terrifying their firm's leadership?
This raises an important question, and the actionable advice from our sources is brilliant. You don't ask for a permanent change. You put it in writing and trial it.
Treat it like a beta test.
Exactly. You build in regular reviews, say monthly or quarterly,
Okay.
and you establish a series of metrics to measure success before you even start.
So you're taking the emotion out of it.
Exactly. True flexibility means the arrangement can be changed by either party if it isn't working. It's a two-way street. Giving them that escape hatch usually neutralizes the fear.
That is such a smart way to approach it. Just pitch it as a trial.
It works wonders.
Well, I think that is a perfect place to pull this all together because we've covered a lot of ground today.
We really have.
Just to quickly recap our 4 tips for you guys listening. First, we talked about treating every yes as a no, right? Protecting your deep work.
Right.
Second, we covered managing expectations.
Yeah.
Instead of buying into that false drop everything urgency.
The accessibility myth.
Exactly. Third, we broke down the bums on seats fallacy, shifting the focus to outcomes rather than just, desk time.
Which is so crucial.
And finally, tip 4 was using structured trial runs to make flexibility actually work for everyone without the fear of permanence.
It's a really solid framework. But before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over.
Oh, I love these. Let's hear it.
So we talked a lot about how every yes is a no and the cost of agreeing to new requests. But think about the reverse for a second.
Okay.
Look at your standard, unexamined daily routine. If every yes is a no, what invisible no have you handed out today simply by showing up to your usual routine?
Oh, wow.
Right. What opportunities or moments of deep work are you quietly shutting down simply by running on autopilot, by just accepting things the way they've always been done?
That is a deeply uncomfortable question. What invisible no have you handed out today? I am definitely going to be thinking about that one.
It's a good one to reflect on.
It really is. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into time management. We really hope these tips help you reclaim your schedule and find a bit more balance.
Thanks for having me.
Take care, everyone. Catch you next time.
That's it for today's episode on LexiCast. If you're looking for more in-depth episodes that can also be claimed as CPD activities, check out our LexiCast CPD Plus page linked in this episode's notes. Follow us now to stay up to date, and we'll see you next time.